Behind bars, gangs are a fact of life. They extort, sell drugs, run gambling rings. And joining one can determine how you do your time.
Gang life is forever, man.
For 1 year, National Geographic followed the lives of inmates and officers in the state of Ohio. It's a system bent on making inmates better, filled with convicted felons who might already be worse.
Get out of my face.
This is a year of hard time. In a world filled with convicted felons, fighting can be a way of life. And this afternoon at Ross Correctional Institution, Charles Filon is headed to segregation for squaring off with another inmate. Again.
Man, it's my 21st time in 3 years, man. 63rd ticket, man. I'm selling with anybody, man. They can respect me, man. Or put me in their house, man. I'm not selling with nobody.
In prison, every fight has a reason, and this one is gang-related. Filon is a member of the Heartless Felons, and he's just been in a fight with the Bloods, the dominant group at Ross.
They don't like me. They don't like the way I move. They don't like the way I am. Bloods mostly. Columbus people. I'm from Cleveland. I'm out of place. Man, I'm outnumbered, so I always get tried, man.
Filon's fight is just the beginning. In a world that relies on strength in numbers, Filon is alone. And he will have to answer for his attack. Ross Correctional Institution is home to 2,600 inmates and 2 very different worlds. The South Side is medium security, level 2. The ones who follow the rules and reap the rewards. Life here means greater privileges, smoother time that good behavior has earned them. The North Side is a tougher place to do time. It's closed security, level 3. A designation earned by an inmate's crime, behavior, and gang activity. On the yard and on the tiers, the gangs are a visible presence, and for those who choose it, a way of life. Many are doing what's called flat time, a tough group to manage. They know exactly when they're getting out, have nothing to lose, and fight to carve out their own turf. The Bloods are known for extortion, robbing and stealing to get what they want. The Aryan Brotherhood runs the gambling rings and enforces their own brand of racial separation. The Hispanics are the upstarts, few in numbers, but known for dealing drugs and making weapons. They are competing factions that can make for a volatile mix.
There's strength in numbers. And plus, we try to dominate over everything, you know what I mean? If we want to do something, we can do it whenever we want, however we want, no matter what. Can't nobody stop us. If somebody try to stop us, smash him out and get him out the way.
There's people who's not members, but in some way, shape, form, or fashion, everybody's affiliated.
Gangs run everything. Everywhere you go, you ask anybody, and it's a gang that runs that joint. I've been in extortion, you know, I've taken hits for people, you know, to make money, you know what I mean, to get what I need. Certain things I'll take from, you know, I'm a predator, man. I am at the top of the food chain.
29-year-old William Sams fashions himself the quintessential gangster. He's white and violently proud of it, a ranking member of the Aryan Brotherhood.
The power makes you comfortable, and here that's what you shoot for. You get your hands in everything. Get your hands in the dope. Get your hands in the black market. It's all about, you know, making money and controlling that part of the prison, man. I can lay back and relax, but I like what I do. You know, I enjoy fighting. I enjoy getting in trouble and partying and getting drunk and beating up black dudes, and that's my thing. I enjoy that.
By joining the Brotherhood, William Sams has chosen to leave his free world life behind. And with that change, a new name, Bulldog.
takes a lifetime to build a reputation and to earn respect. It only takes 10 seconds to lose that, you know? In a nanosecond, you can become a just like that.
In 2005, William Sams got into a drunken brawl with another man, stabbing the victim to death with a broken beer bottle. He was convicted of felonious assault and manslaughter, and his sentence will keep him behind bars until he's 40. A perfect mark for the gangs, young and angry with a long sentence and nothing to lose.
I had been in the joint about 3 months when I was approached. I had been fighting left and right, you know what I mean? Because that's what I do.
The young inmate starts at the bottom, muscle for an organization that requires putting in work to rise. And Bulldog is as ambitious as they come.
There's only two kind of people in here, it's predators and prey, you know? And I consider myself, I'm not arrogant or nothing or being, funny, but I'm at the top of the food chain, you know? Fight, stabbing mostly. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to stab something, then don't even approach me. Because that's what we do. That's putting in work. You know what I mean? That's gangster. Dirty white gangster.
The constant threat of violence makes gangs one of Ohio's greatest security threats. There are over 1,000 classified factions in the system, and they are at the center of a vast network designed to keep them in check. Right when new inmates walk through the back door, officers are there to meet them, to check their gang tattoos and affiliations. On the tiers, regular shakedowns target gang artwork and communications to determine who's in charge and what rivalries are heating up.
You got SWPFRS, Supreme White Power.
And gang coordinators like Jeff Clark track the players with on-the-ground intel.
The recreation yard is a good source of intelligence for us as prison officials. You can check the polls here, and obviously the group that hangs out here the most is the one marking the polls up. You see the double lightning bolts, the swastika, 126612. That's actually a code. That's just alphabet code. The letters of the alphabet's Aryan Brotherhood forever, forever Aryan Brotherhood. That's your MS-13, Gangster Disciple, which is 7-4, double lightning bolts, 88, Heil Hitler. Then you got Crip down there. They're marking their territory kind of like a dog peeing on a tree. They mark it out and people see it and it's like, hey, this is our spot. I checked the handball courts to see if they've been sharpening shanks. This is where the Latinos hang out and play handball. You're looking at where they've taken a piece of metal to sharpen down and they rub it against the wall because this is very, it's like sandpaper. And they'll just, while they're playing handball, they'll wait and they'll look around. If they don't see anybody looking, they'll go over and rub the shank on there for a little bit and get it nice and sharp and then take it back to the unit with them. Just, check it and see if there's any dust, because if there's fresh dust on there, it means they've been doing it, within the last day or so. This looks to me to be fairly fresh, probably within the last day or two. To me, it looks like that they're making weapons and they're probably either selling them or stashing them for a rainy day. They've marked their territory. You've got MS-13 here. That's just, hey, this is ours, leave it alone. That's just kind of the way it works out. Just like the other side, you've got all the lightning bolts and the white power stuff. Well, it's a place to get out and, exercise, obviously, but it's also a place where they take care of their business. You see who's hanging out with who. If there's an issue between two groups, you'll see it because one group will be in one area, the other group will be in the other area, and it usually tips us off if there's something getting ready to happen or whatever. We can get people down there and intervene. When I interview an inmate or talk to a guy on the yard, I'm always looking for information. I didn't even know you had a tattoo.
That's good.
Medusa?
Yeah, what have you mad at me about? I want to know.
That deal with Skaggs?
What, get one of him moved over?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
How did you get that dirty urine? Yeah. I guess they don't think that I'm gathering intelligence every time I talk to them. Hey, Cody, where's Jesse? Is he out here?
What are you talking about?
How you doing, bub? Gangs are part of prison life. Serena 13, you can either let the gangs control the prison, or you can kind of, work out a happy medium where you control it and know that they're here. Their prime concern is money and power. The reason they're in the gangs is money, power, and in some cases protection. That's what they do it for.
Protection, though, requires numbers. And with numbers comes strength. But for gangsters like Charles Filon, Ross is a lonely place. And he considers his ability to fight his best protection. Charles Filon entered the correctional system as a minor. But after committing 2 assaults in juvenile detention, he was sent to prison on a 5-year sentence. His conviction cut short a budding life of crime in Cleveland.
I'm just running around the streets, man, just doing stupid stuff, fighting, stealing cars. Made me feel like somebody, made me feel like I was doing something.
Rather than leave the streets behind, Filon made a choice, joined a gang.
I joined Northern Felons because it fitted my story. It fitted my character. That's how I was feeling at the time, heartless.
Inmate Filon, can you give me your full name and number for the record, please?
Charles Filon, 519-109.
Today, Filon is in disciplinary court for fighting, again. His past prison assaults have already led to additional charges and 5 more years on his sentence. Just the latest charge in a long history of violence behind bars.
You do understand your record is terrible. You've got to stop. You have got to stop.
I keep catching cases because people keep trying me. I've been trying to change, man, but it's been hard. Hard, man. I don't know. I'm trapped in the system now.
He's a heartless felon from the juvenile system. That's his gang. They're not real popular around here. In the northern half, there's a lot of them, and they can actually create a power base for themselves. Down here, we got 3, and they're not having a good time here. That's kind of what the bottom line is for him.
I'm hated. I mean, people just don't like me, man. I mean, they don't like me.
You're trying to go around a circle. Stop going around the circle and just tell me what happened. What started the fight?
They don't like me, period.
He's a gang member without a gang. That's what it is. There's not enough guys here to, help him out. He's kind of stuck. He's a gang member without a gang.
Today, Filon gets lucky. His sentence, 14 days in the hole and no additional charges.
You get another fight, getting any more drama, you're going to LC, okay?
But it's just a matter of time before he's released, back into enemy territory, where he might fight again. At Ross Correctional Institution, 5A is the revolving door for rule breakers. Once a normal housing unit, the dorm has been converted to segregation, the hole, for troublemakers who often belong to a gang. They are gang members that are bound by their own set of rules, their own code of conduct, and who pledge their allegiance to a way of life built around respect.
You're not going to disrespect me, and you're not going to dog the people I'm loyal to, because, by any means necessary, I'm going to come get you. Any disrespect will kill it right there. Anything tarnishes your reputation, anything. It takes years to build that respect and that integrity from people, and it only takes 10 seconds to lose it. Once you lose that respect, you're at the bottom of that food chain, and then it's all bad.
A question of respect is what landed William Sams, known as Bulldog, in the hole for fighting.
You gotta not give a about getting beat up and getting your face bashed in. I don't give a you know what I mean? I heard AB, and then I heard, sucking all this other I'm 0 tolerance, man. I go 0 to 90 in 1 second. I've been gone for so long that most of my people are, they're moving on. And I can't fault them for that. They don't even know me anymore. You lose the family on the street, so when you click up in here, that's your family in here. And the same values are incorporated there. The loyalty, the love, the trust, the respect, and it makes you want to become a part of that.
That family-like loyalty came into play in Bulldog's charge. A fight with a black inmate that escalated when another Aryan brother, Donnie Silvers, jumped into the fray. It's just the sort of incident that represents a major threat to the safety of the prison. 3 years ago, a gang fight that divided along racial lines erupted on Ross's North Yard. More than 70 members of white and black gangs jumped into the brawl.
You're looking at a gang-related fight between the Aryan Brotherhood and the Bloods. Officers in the control center were advised by radio that there was going to be a problem on the North Rec. Down in this area, you'll see a guy run across and just deck a guy over in this area. There he goes. The AB guy strikes one of the Bloods gang guys. What you've got, the ABs are on this side, and then you've got some of the Bloods gang members on this side. When you get to that point where you've got two groups of guys and they're facing off like that, if something goes, they're obligated to participate. If you're a gang member and you don't do it, well, guess what? The consequences are somebody's going to beat you over the head and you're going to get stabbed.
The fight is broken up as quickly as it starts. 28 gang members are written up and punished. Some are even transferred to other prisons. It's all part of the state's strategy for disrupting the gangs. Break them up before things get out of control. And that process often goes through the prison judicial system. Today, Bulldog is headed to his hearing. But just as the system has its own code of conduct, so too do the gangs.
Donnie did what he was supposed to do by jumping in, but, you know, clearly it was my fault, you know, that got him in here. I'm the one that initiated combat with dude.
Come on in, have a seat. Are you guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty. But the inmate Silvers, he wasn't even fighting. Me and the black kid was fighting, but he was just trying to break the fight up. I don't think he was grabbing me. He didn't swing on nobody or hit nobody. He was trying to keep me from hitting whoever I was hitting.
Bulldog's plan is to go down alone for the fight. It's called taking out, and it's part of the code that binds gangsters together.
It'll probably be tomorrow before you go to RIB.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, sir.
Good looking out. The only things I value are my brothers, and pretty much that's it. You know what I mean? Anything outside of my dudes in here, I don't care about anymore. I've lost that. My loyalty lies with the people I associate with in here, and that's it.
Hey, Bulldog.
Yeah.
You ain't got no ibuprofen or nothing?
I told you I ain't got none, dog. I need something from you. I need to get Donnie out of trouble. Donnie, to me, that's my little dog, man, you know? I see me and him, you know what I mean? He's young, he's like 23, you know what I mean? He's a young cat, but I see myself at his age, you know what I mean, when I look at him, so he's my protege, you know? I created him, man, and I'm proud of him, you know what I mean? Yeah, hey, listen, don't go, you know what I mean? Don't go out there on some you hear me?
Bulldog will need more than just his testimony to get Donnie released. The victim is facing charges for fighting as well, and his version of the story could ruin the plan. As the Aryan brothers watch each other's back, another pair of inmates are coming into segregation, about to face their own test. A routine search uncovered white powder suspected to be cocaine, a serious offense behind bars. Now 2 cellmates, one with ties to the Bloods, are on lockdown.
I said, what's going on? And he said, well, you know, weapons and drugs is not supposed to be in a facility. I said, what y'all charge me with a knife? He said, no, drugs. That's crazy. And my cellie said he didn't have it.
Delshawn Nix and Darren Hagwood are both from Columbus, Ohio. A tie that can be as strong as a gang here at Ross. They're both young and facing long sentences for violent crimes.
According to Columbus police,
On a July night in 2007, Darren Hagwood and a friend broke into the home of a 75-year-old man who put up a fight.
one of the suspects reportedly shot and kills Massey. Columbus police charged the alleged triggerman, Darren Hagwood, age 16, with aggravated murder.
A 2009 robbery gone wrong landed Delshawn Nix in prison as well.
Columbus police say 3 men entered the Ipton restaurant and robbed the business, along with 2 customers inside.
In a split-second decision, Nix's crew opened fire, killing the cook, a father of 5.
I mean, the wrong place at the wrong time, basically. Man, I didn't think it was gonna get that bad. But like I said, man, it is what it is, man. Can't take it back now, I'm here.
Hagwood got a 20 to life sentence, Nix a flat 20. And now both are facing the same charge of having drugs in prison. 2 inmates bound by the same code, the G code.
G code is basically saying you never tell. You don't tell on your worst enemy. You don't tell on your best friend. That's basically what the G code is. You don't tell. Never tell on nobody. I wouldn't even want to put my worst enemy through this. I wouldn't tell on nobody.
The codes. Go back to the code. I'm in prison for 20 years for somebody snitching on me. You don't do that. You gotta stick to the code.
The G code is something that can be seen all across Ross. An inmate code of silence that's hard for the prison to break through. Officers regularly shake down inmates to root out contraband, drugs, and weapons.
Where's the gun? Is it in here? Found ink. Where's the gun?
But anyone who appears to cooperate, to talk to the officers, risks being labeled a snitch. Something Hagwood and Nix know well.
Now, it's Rule 39, which is possession, manufacture, consumption of drugs or intoxicating substance. How do you want to plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
All right, Nix. Rule 39, are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. They basically saying if he don't take blame for it and I don't take blame for it, then we both gonna get charged and I guess gotta face the consequences.
The prison has already sent the powder out for testing. If the result comes back positive for cocaine, the young inmates could face new charges and more time. From the moment new inmates enter Ohio's prisons, they are offered a choice. Buy into a system offering rehabilitation or continue with the behavior that got them here. Ohio is one of only 2 states whose Department of Corrections has rehabilitation in the name, and the system takes it seriously, offering education, career training, and jobs in the hopes that inmates will never return. And when it comes to gangs, the system attacks the problem head-on, with programs led by the inmates themselves.
I want to talk to you a little bit about this gang stuff.
Lifers, who know the ins and outs of doing hard time, help prepare the rookies for the pitfalls that lie ahead.
Every last one of y'all gonna be recruited when you get to where you're going. Every last one of y'all. My Aaron Brotherhood, y'all kick up much dust. You got your Crips and your Bloods, your Vice Lord, your Kings. Whatever you want is in here. Be your own man, man. Don't let nobody think for you, man. Be your own man. This is not what you want to do with your life, gentlemen. Right now, it don't make no sense.
But when it comes to the programs, many are voluntary. Participation comes down to a choice. Choice is at the heart of how you do your time. This is Nine House, and it's reserved for some of the prison's worst offenders. Inmates here live in single cells and spend 23 hours a day on lockdown. No phone calls, no commissary, true segregation. To be a gang member in Nine House means that you've broken the rules and are on the system's radar. Among them are shot callers. Shot callers like Eduardo Bonilla.
Somehow my uncle was right. He told me don't mess with it. And I didn't want to listen, and I got a life sentence.
Eduardo Bonilla came to America from Guatemala to set up a drug trafficking operation in Dayton, Ohio. An operation that came to a bloody end in a 1998 shootout.
It was inside an apartment. He came in and they got into a shootout. One of my dudes shot him and he shot my dude and everything went wrong. And them 2 guys died.
Bonilla was charged as an accessory to murder, convicted and sentenced to 50 to life. And once inside, he made a choice: enter the gang life. Something that could be difficult at Ross, where Latinos are few and far between.
Your skin color is your uniform. And that's kind of the way it is in prison. You know, if you're black, you go hang out with the black guys. If you're white, you go hang out with the white guys.
People don't understand that if you don't belong, they're gonna take advantage of you, because that's, you know, you gotta understand we in here with criminals. You know, they like to rob, they like to rape, they like to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So it ain't like we in here with a law-abiding citizens.
With the numbers against him, the former drug dealer took a stand. He organized. And as Bonilla rose, so did the reputation of the Hispanics.
When I came in, there was no Hispanics around. It was only about 5, 6 Hispanics over here. And this side, and about 5 or 6 over there.
You know, he's a pretty smart guy. He has a lot of respect for male Latinos. I would consider him to be a leader. I would say that he's probably a mind leader as opposed to a muscle leader. The mind leaders are definitely more dangerous.
You know, all the gangs was running into their cells and slapping them and taking their stuff. When they go to chow, you know, some of them, their cellies leave the door open so they can get robbed and everything. Tell everybody, like, if they mess with one of us, they gotta have to mess with every one of us.
Don't nobody with the Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Like, they reputation speak for themselves, you know what I'm saying? So nobody really want problems with the Mexicans, because everybody think like, oh, the Mexicans, they gonna stab.
If you mess with these two, we gonna come see you. And we ain't gonna come talk to you no more. We gonna come see you.
For years, the leader eluded the authorities at Ross, until now. The prison has found a roll of film in Bonilla's possession. On it, pictures of the Latinos, pictures taken right here at Ross.
You don't find photographs like that. You know, it's very telling. That also lets us know that, hey, these guys have got their stuff together and they're doing things.
They also confirmed something more. Bonilla's the shot caller, and now faces being sent to a new prison, breaking up his ring. Bonilla would be alone, again. And in prison, that can be a dangerous thing. Charles Filon, the heartless felon, is back in the hole again. This time for possessing a weapon, a homemade knife, a shank strapped to his leg.
I don't think the shank was gonna end it, but I just had the shank just in case, man, because of the numbers, man. It's a lot of them, man. So I was preparing for the worst. I was gonna make an example out of somebody.
Filon was out of the hole for only a day, and the knife is assigned to the system that he's raising the stakes. With no one to watch his back, Filon has been placed in Nine House, the deepest hole in the prison, and what may be his last stop in doing time at Ross. In prison, some offenders will say and do anything to try to beat the system. And when gangs are involved, the balance shifts. Power and intimidation can come into play. Today in segregation, Aryan Brothers Bulldog and Silvers are having their day in prison court. Up on disciplinary charges for fighting, for attacking a black inmate who insulted their gang.
Donald Silvers, 425-309.
Inmate Silvers, you appear before the Rules Infraction Board today charged with Rule 19 fighting with or without a weapon, including instigation or perpetuation of a fight. How do you wish to plead to the Rule 19?
Not guilty.
This is your opportunity just to tell me what this is all about.
Me and Sam's was coming back from chow, and I guess him and the guy had words in the chow hall. I guess I didn't know. Well, I know we're walking back from chow, and I'm talking to Sam's. Next thing I know, I turn around and they're fighting. So I get in between them and try to break it up. I'll get it broke up, and then we all just go in the block. And then the COs come and get me, talking about I was fighting.
How many fights you broke up in my institution? That's just not your MO.
When I fight, I'll tell you I fight. I admit to fighting, you know what I mean? I don't care.
How'd your fists get red? How'd your hands get red?
I went to IHS, there was no marks on my hands or nothing. I got a tattoo, the flames on my hands. See the flames, the pink flames?
You got a little scratch right there.
Did you admit to fighting to Officer Anderson?
Nah, I told them I wasn't fighting. They took me to IHS and checked my hands and everything, and made me take my pants down and everything.
Okay, well, you realize the officer said that you were involved in the fight, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it over?
As far as I know, it was never started.
Okay. All right, have a seat outside. We'll make disposition, call you right back in. Come on in, young man. Sams?
Yes, ma'am.
Inmate Sams, can you give me your full name and number for the record, please? This is your opportunity just to tell me what this is all about.
One of the guys said something real fly on the way back from chow. I turned around and hit him, and
What'd he say?
something about call me an AB. So I let him have it.
Are you AB?
Yes, ma'am.
Bulldog instigated the fight, so by gang code, he has to take the blame alone
Sams, 519-898.
and get the charges against Donnie dropped.
Donnie was just trying to break the fight up. The other guy last time was Izzy Silvers. He was trying to break the fight
Silvers
up.
ain't broke up a fight in my institution
he was trying to keep
since
me
he's been
from
here. Look, I have a hard time buying that story.
Bulldog's done his part, given his version of the fight. But in order for Donnie to get off, the victim's story needs to line up as well. And the Aryan Brotherhood have their power through intimidation.
You're Rogers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The guy that you were fighting with, was that the shorter guy, or was it both of them? Did they both, how did all that happen? Was there more than this, just the two of you fighting, or more than the three of you?
It was just me and the bigger guy. Another guy was trying to break it up.
How was he trying to break it up?
He was just saying, stop, stop. Come on, y'all. He pushed me, was pushing him back.
Is that your word? Because I'm just, it's just not like him to break up fights. It's more like him to involve himself.
He was trying to break it up.
All right, have a seat outside. We'll make disposition, call you right back in.
The victim's account matches up, and based on the testimony, Donnie is set free. It's testimony, though, that wasn't the whole truth. Testimony Bulldog had a hand in.
You know, I conversed with him, and I asked him to do, the right thing. And he knows the code. So I had to go in there and, I had to write him notes and tell him, look, man, this is what you say.
Is the situation over between you and this guy?
No.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am.
I had to talk to the guy into making sure he didn't say, that they jumped me. Because if he went in there and said they jumped me, that's all it takes. We're ABs. He knows, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you can't go anywhere in the state. I mean, where are you gonna go? We're everywhere, We're everywhere. So he went along with it. I don't know if it was out of fear, if it was out of respect. He knew he was wrong. But either way, I'm satisfied. It worked.
Bulldog's power play was built on the solidarity of his gang. And the code that binds inmates together. The code that is about to face another test. Darren Hagwood and Delshawn Nix are in the hole after a white powder was found in their cell. A white powder only suspected of being cocaine, until now.
Certain hit. Okay, so it did test positive.
The lab results are positive, and the stakes are raised. The pair could now face criminal charges.
They talk about giving people extra years, and 9 times out of 10, they always find people guilty. This is my main goal, is to be found not guilty on this charge. I'm tired of this.
With more time on the line, Nix is changing his tactic, leaning on his former cellmate.
He been talking to me. He been trying to talk to me about it. Like, every time he walk by my door or when he go outside to wreck, he always try to squeeze something in like, oh, bro, man, you should take out for it, bro. You got more time than me.
So, Hagwood, you might as well just take out for it. Yeah, I don't know what. For real.
He should just take the rap for it, man. You got the life tale on you. You can just say it was yours.
Hey, Hagwood.
I was trying to get it through his head, like, what's the use of both of us being back here? We can't do nothing for one another or nothing. It's
another piece of the G code. Inmates with longer sentences and less to lose take the rap, and in return get taken care of.
If I take the charge, I expect him to shoot things back here to me. Like if I need something, I just write him a letter or send him a kite saying, this is what I need, can you shoot this back here?
We need some money on his books. I have money sent to his books. If we need coffee, I'll get him coffee back here, whatever he need. Like basically, I'll be willing to look out for him.
But I've been thinking to myself, like maybe I might just go out there, and I'm not gonna say like, not try to blame it all like nothing on him, but I'm gonna say that I might think about saying that it was mine just to get him off the hook.
Tomorrow is the trial, and by the G code, the time for Hagwood to take the fall. At Ross Correctional Institution, maintaining control is a delicate balance. When a single inmate gains too much influence, the balance of power can shift, and the system responds.
The people that's organizing and keep them on the track and running the money and running the dope, whatever the case is, that's the ones you get rid of, the organizers. You step in and cut the head of the snake off. You keep them disorganized.
Keeping gangs disorganized at Ross means time in the hole, but that's just a temporary solution. When an inmate is perceived as too powerful, transferring them to another prison may be the system's best option. A fate Eduardo Bonilla is facing today in a prison judicial review.
Your behavior presents a current threat to the security and orderly operation of the institution. You function as an active member involved in a disruptive security threat group, which is Rule 17, and you're a member of the MS-13s, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The review is a full assessment of Bonilla's prison history, a history that now includes possibly smuggling a camera into Ross.
They found film in your pack-up, is that right?
Yes, in my property.
How did you come about that film?
I can't really say anything without incriminating nobody else, you know?
Okay.
So,
why would you hold on to film? I mean, certainly you know it's a violation of institutional rules to have something stolen from, either stolen from the institution or had an illegal camera sent in with film in it. I don't know which it was, you're not talking about that, but why would you hold on to the film?
I was supposed to send it out, and you know, they found it before I got to send it out.
So how many times have you sent film out?
That was the first time.
Okay, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the committee?
No, nothing.
With the hearing complete, all that remains is a final decision and more time in the hole. Time for Bonilla to contemplate his future and the choices of his past.
When I first got here, I didn't like it because I'd be all by myself. I don't talk to nobody. If I go to wreck, I'd be out there by myself, you know, walking out there like a bug out, you know, back and forth. And I just don't like it. You have more time to think about stuff and, you know, reflect on a lot of stuff like what I'm gonna do, what did I do wrong. We've been stereotyped, like movies and everything. We gotta shank people, all this stuff, and they think, they get the picture, you know, oh, this is how these guys are. So we gotta get rid of these guys. But that ain't how it is. You know what I mean? But they don't wanna believe it. That was not really the motivation to come together. The motivation was because they was taking advantage of us. They was running over us. That's the reason why we came together, to protect the Hispanics. I mean, you know, if you don't belong, you know, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
As Bonilla awaits the verdict, another gangster is preparing to face the consequence of his actions. Charles Filon is in Ninehouse as well. The heartless felon has been caught with a homemade knife, a sign that Filon may be growing more violent.
Backing down would be the right thing to do, though, but I mean, if it's easier said than done, man. It's more of a pride issue for real.
Inmate Filon, you appeared before the Rules Infraction Board today charged with a Rule 36, possession of a weapon. Do you understand that charge?
Yes.
On the above date and time, while conducting a pat-down of inmate Filon, I found a shank strapped to his right inner thigh.
Weapons possession is a serious offense, but the prison thinks it may be a clue of something else.
How did they find it?
How'd you strap it on your thigh?
For the ace bandage.
Desperation.
Did you have a hole in your pocket to get to it?
Huh?
Did you have a hole in your pocket to get to it?
Nah.
How was you gonna get to it?
Did you do something that caused them to shake you down?
Did I do something that caused me to shake me down? Nah. You said, did I intentionally get caught with it on purpose? Man, I don't, man, we're all getting at with this though, man. I don't understand.
I'm just asking that question.
With no other gang members to watch his back, the hole may be the safest place for Philon to do his time. So the investigators think he got caught on purpose.
Here's what you said during your testimony. I've been having incidents with these dudes and I tried to squash it, but it didn't work out. Everyone wants to fight me now because their dude got beat up. I'll catch some more time if I stay here. That cool?
I don't like how you put that, man.
What?
I ain't checking in.
No, I said I'll catch more time if I stay here. That's
Saying you'll do
that's
something.
definitely a face-saving statement, I think.
All right, you stay out of trouble. All right, young man?
Yeah.
All right.
Philon gets 15 days for his actions. 15 days in segregation.
Wait, you'll get yourself in too much trouble down there.
The heartless felon has gotten something else. The possibility of new charges and more time in prison for weapons possession. More time on his ever-growing sentence. In the segregation unit at Ross Correctional Institution, it's trial day for Deshaun Nix and Darren Hagwood. They're up on charges of drug possession, and Nix has orchestrated a deal. Hagwood takes the rap and in return gets taken care of. But this morning, the lifer may be having a change of heart.
I mean, last night, you see, I had to sell to myself and stuff. I laid in my bed and I was thinking about it. I want to say we cool, but I only knew him for like 7, 8 months. So I don't see it as me taking out for him. Because I already know by the way how he act when he was my cellie that he's not gonna look out for me.
M.A. Hagwood, you appeared before the Rules Infraction Board today charged with a Rule 39, unauthorized possession, manufacture, or consumption of a drug or intoxicating substance. How do you wish to plead to the Rule 39?
Not guilty. What's the use of taking up if he's not gonna look out for me? So I'm just gonna tell him honestly and truthfully, it's not mine. I keep telling him it until they prove us guilty. When they prove us guilty, whatever happens, happens. I mean, I'm gonna do my time no matter where I go.
Do you understand that's how that works? If something's found in your house or in your cell, you're both, and neither inmate takes responsibility for it, you're both charged with it. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
The former cellies are both going down for the crime. Inmates may live by the G code, but today neither inmate is willing to take the rap.
Just sitting here, man, what's really going through my mind is beating dude up for changing his mind like that. I can't believe this. I told him yesterday, I said, man, you go ahead and say it's yours. I'm gonna get you food, I'm gonna get you whatever you want while you back here. So he's like, all right, man, I'm gonna do that for you. Now he changed his mind.
Hey, tell that nigga I said come to the window. I said he act like 90 days is gonna kill him. Man, I thought we had an agreement yesterday, but this nigga changed his mind. This nigga talking about he want both of them to be back here. What's up with Nah, tell him come to the window, dog. I gotta tell him something.
It's been 15 days since Bulldog landed in the hole for fighting, and today he and his victim are getting out. Now it's time for Bulldog to resume his life as a gangster in general population.
I punched dude one time. I didn't stomp on him like I should have, but it's nothing for real. As far as us, me and him, that issue's pretty much over.
I got that.
People think time gets easier when you become a part of the gang. It doesn't. It makes it harder because now you got that much more responsibility to deal with. You know, you got a reputation to uphold, you got other people who depend on you to make them look good, you know what I mean?
Y'all ready for a real killer in there?
I don't care if Jeff Clark's watching on the camera all day long.
What's up, man?
They're here for 8 hours. We live here. This is home. So we're not worried about, what he does or how he does it, because we're gonna do what we want to do anyway. We deal with that aspect of it like I am now. Consequences and all that follows afterwards.
As Bulldog reassumes his position in the ranks, another gangster is getting his release from segregation as well.
I'm going to Luke, man. I'm up out of here, man.
Rather than heading back to general population, though, Charles Philon, the heartless felon, is being transferred out. For his history of violence and being caught with a weapon, Philon's headed to one of the state's toughest prisons. He's earned a move to maximum security.
I'm glad to be leaving here. A lot of my element down here, they would say that it's harder, but I ain't gonna be around nobody though. It's 23-in-1 lockdown. I'm in my cell 23 hours, come out for an hour of recreation. I mean, that's kind of hard on the mind for real. I think I'll be able to handle it though. I'll be all right.
It will be at least 1 year before Philon has another security review.
You ever had a black box on before?
Nah.
Black box gonna take your hands past this like this right here.
A year under some of the tightest control the system has to offer. A change that starts here.
I'm getting a part of this combination right here.
Transfer policy. Please, sir. You pull back to your chest right here, line up in the center for me. Right there. Maybe you turn around for me. A little bit more. Right there is good. All right, you can head that on to the bus.
Philon pledged himself to the gang life, and it landed him in maximum security. As the heartless felon heads on to the next level of doing time, another gangster is being given one last chance. The final verdict came down, and Eduardo Bonilla is staying at Ross, returning to general population.
I was happy. I was real happy about it, and I felt like, it was just like everything was hitting me all at once. And at one time, I thought I was real strong, but I realized that I got my weaknesses too, When they told me they wasn't gonna write me out, I kind of felt like kind of relief, like maybe everything ain't gonna go wrong after all,
Oh, Luch, what's up, man?
Bonilla spent nearly 5 months in the hole, but the self-made gang leader already seems to be taking back the reins.
Oh, vato, felicitaciones por tu GED.
His release has come with a clear message, though. He's being watched by a system holding the gangs in check.
Gangs are a part of prison life. They're going to be here. We can't get rid of it. It'd be like trying to get rid of gambling. You can't get rid of gambling. You can't get rid of a lot of the things that go on in prison.
There ain't no getting out of it. Maybe, while we in here, we can't because, we gotta be together. In order to avoid being extorted, in order to avoid being robbed, in order to avoid being, mistreated and everything, we gotta be together. I could try to think in 1,000 different ways how to get out of it, but I won't let myself get out of it because I don't look at it like a gang. I look at it like they're my brothers, like they're my family, like we're together for the same cause. Gang life is forever, man.
This is it. This is my world right here. This is life. As long as you go balls to the wall every day, that's, you'll make it good. You survive good. Do I look sad? Do I look miserable? I do what I want to do, I got a good name in here. I've got my reputation, yeah. There's no bras, there's no money, there's nothing here. I can't say that it doesn't bother me. At night, I sit there and lay there and I'm miserable, but I don't let anybody else see it. Because that's just another weakness to peel away at, Any sign of weakness is a wrap. Hey,